Just thinking what I'm going to be cooking tonight. Well, what have I got? I've got my sweet pepper and onion. Got some leftover chicken there that the wifey cooked on Sunday. Nice stew chicken, kind of done in there on top the oven. Sorry, on top the cooker and then in the oven. Got my frying pan. Got my basmati rice in there. I'm gonna do a little thing. Hope you like it. Well, I'm gonna like it. I better chop those onions up right now. Yeah, just frying up some onions and sweet pepper. Need to throw some garlic, and I always use garlic because garlic, obviously, it's very good for you, but it brings out flavors. Rice is done. Gotta just deal with this garlic in this pot here. Taking off the fire because I'm using my other hand. I'm using one hand to film and one hand to. Okay. Gonna need to use a knife to slice that, to cut that off and put that into the pot. Mix it up. Got garlics in there now, so smelling really nice. Obviously you guys can't smell it, but it's smelling good. Once I've done that, what I'm going to do now is get some tin tomato. Got some tin tomato in here somewhere. I normally buy the cheap one, either the plum one or the chopped tomato. Looks like I'm going to be running the peeled tomato today, or what do you call it, peeled plum. The cheap Tesco one. Nothing wrong with that, as long as it brings out the flavors. Add to the meal. Tomato is good for you. What I'm going to do is put half of the tomato into this mix there. Half will do, like that. 2 of the plum tomatoes. Make sure the fire is kind of high. And then I'm just going to just mix that up. Sounds good, innit? I like the sound of cooking and the smell of cooking. You get what I mean? Obviously when the tomatoes in there, flavour's going to be washed out a bit, but that's when I'm going to start dropping in my season and my different flavours to make everything taste, as we say in the Caribbean, sweet. So we just mix that up a little bit. This is a quick kind of meal, because what I'm doing is using my leftovers, as I said, the chicken, and I've obviously cooked a fresh pot of basmati, but I'm just making some quick flavours there. I'm going to just use some of my seasons now in my cupboard. Drop in my oil. I'm going to use some, what do you call it, what I've got here. As you can see, I'm quite messy, like most men, but just need to start adding some different flavours or different seasons. So I'm going to run the paprika, a little bit of that. Paprika is good for most things. Okay, a little bit of that, don't go too mad. And even though I put fresh garlic in, I always put a bit of dried garlic powder. For some reason, the dried garlic powder does wonders to my cooking. And then I had a bit of ginger, because ginger is the kind of thing that, you know, using Asian cooking and even Caribbean cooking, put a bit of ginger in there. Let's mix that up nicely. Like that. It's smelling good still. Okay. Because this kind of cooking I'm doing is it's on a cross between Caribbean and Indian, so I put a bit of garam masala because it's gonna it's going to be a bit like a biryani, but it's not really a biryani. You know what I'm trying to say? It's got like a biryani look to it, but the masala kind of give it a little biryani flavour, because that's the Indian herbs there mixed up. You know, the Raja garam masala that I use that in my Indian cooking. Looking still sounding nice. And something what I do, I put a little bit of the coriander, and then I'm going to use a bit of bold season, or what do you call it, curry powder in there. So I put that in now. So what I'm going to do is put a little, not much, tablespoon, but you know, not even half, quarter tablespoon into that. A little bit more. Now that is going to give it the Indian touch to. It smells cross between a, well, it kind of got like an Indian smell to it actually, Indian kind of cooking smell. So I'll run that. What I might add to that now, lower the fire a bit because it's kind of getting a bit sticky on the pot. So what I'm going to do now is actually add a little bit of oxa to that. Now I use oxa quite a lot in my cooking. Just crush that up, squash that. Think about the oxa, it kind of adds a little bit of salt to the cooking, so I don't have to use much salt. I don't add no salt. I don't use no salt actually. I might use a little bit of chicken seasoning just to sort of add a little bit of salt from that, but I use a little bit of that. I'll use that in a minute. Mix that up. Now things getting a bit dry, so what I will do at this stage, add a little bit of water from my kettle over here. Just a little bit. Just give it a little moisture, you know what I mean? Everything's still looking good. I usually make my flavours quite strong, because when you add the rice is more blander in taste, so the over flavouring with the rice, when the rice goes in, it won't take away from the flavours. That's why I kind of overdo it a little bit. That's how I run my cooking. Now the taste is gonna be there right now. I got my finger in there and test it. I'm tasting pretty good already. After I've done all that, I'm going to add some like sweet corn. I might add some, might add a little bit of cabbage in there. So a little bit of veggie in there, you know. And then what I'm going to do then is get the rice, fling that rice on top of that, mix that up, and then we have a nice, well, could add my chicken to that. Forgot my chicken, my main thing. I'm not even thinking. What I do, I think I'm going to put my chicken in next. And after my chicken, I put my sweet corn. I've got my piece of breast there, which was cooked on Sunday. Been in the fridge, so everything's going to be cool. I'm just going to chop that up. So you won't see me chopping it because I need to put the camera down. This is a one-man band today. Alright, that's chopped up nicely, as you can see. Ready for the pot. One whole breast. Okay, the chicken is in there, mixing up with the all the mix that I already made, seasoned up nicely. The chicken was already flavoured from the cooking of wifey. She did that nice. It was a nice dinner on Sunday. But now we just mix that chicken with the tomato, the sweet pepper, onions, garlic, tomato, tin plum tomato from Tesco's. Should be promoting that shop, making enough money as it is. So what I'm going to do now is just add some sweet corn. I normally buy the sweet corn, the organic sweet corn from Tesco's. It's the actual super sweet corn. And I tell you something, it's well sweet. It costs a bit of money, but I don't really buy enough. I don't buy a lot of organic. Anyway, put some of that in. Not got too much. That should be enough. So we just, as we've done before, we just stir that in. Fry that, make sure it's quite high. Sweet corn. Sweet corn is frozen. It's already cooked, so it doesn't take long to. No, it's not really cooked. Sorry about that. It's actually frozen, raw, but it's not going to take long to cook. With vegetables, you don't cook them long. The key is to do your vegetables very short time. That's why I didn't put it in straight away. What I might do is just throw some cabbage on that. Don't really cook it a long time because you want to keep the flavours and keep the nutrition value. Okay, that's cooking nicely. That should be done. I think really and truly now I'm ready to put the rice in there, and really the dinner should be almost done. Just a small pot of basmati rice we'll be using for that. I'm going to mix that up now with the actual stuff that I've got in the other pot here, my fried up stuff. And I'll remind you again what I've got in there: sweet corn, chicken, sweet peppers, garlic, onion, whole onions, half a tin of tin tomato, and some seasonings I used: curry powder, bit of garam masala, bit of coriander powder, bit of garlic powder, bit of paprika. Those things have gone in before. What we're going to do now, we're going to do our mix with our rice. Okay, I'm going to put in the rice now. Just remember I left my cabbage out, but don't worry, it's still going to be nice. Looking good. As you can see, it's looking nice. All the flavours, all the mixture is there. The rice looks nice and yellow, and the sweet corn is there. Could have put a bit more sweet corn in, and other things, but this is a basic one. We'll follow up on part 2 and show you how to add more flavours and more veg and different things to the actual mix. But this is a quick, as I said, it took me about 20 minutes to put that together, and that's a meal for 2 or 3 people. Well, it's all done. I'm gonna just put some on that plate for myself. When the boys come back from where they're gone, if they want some, they can have. But not more likely they probably be dealing with their own food outside. But I might end up eating this tomorrow, dinner time or lunchtime or whatever. I'm not gonna have too much because I don't have a big appetite right now. But all I know is that I've done a little meal for myself. Don't need to worry. And for those who thinks why I haven't cooked for the rest of the family, they had takeaway today. How is that looking? Not too bad. I don't know whether you can catch the colours on this camera. Let me get a little bit closer. Anyway, I better tuck in because I'm kind of getting a little bit appetizing now looking at that.